Can we pre-approve this, Brian, before you put it up?
So anyway, I'm sure we'll cover a lot of things that'll probably irritate people, and some guys will agree with. Because anytime you talk about this, there's like these far opposing sides of the fence, and there's some middle of the road. So
I just can't buy into the whole face paint thing. That's
So like special ops, you put it on, you just feel.
But then you got to wash your face.
And then when it came to the shot, it's like, oh my God,
Autopilot.
there's the shot. Autopilot, save me, right? Bung, and off the arrow would go.
And I answered him, but I'm asking you that question.
I want to hear your answer. No, I want to hear your answer.
This is Joe Rogan, and you're listening to the Gritty Bowmen.
When you shoot, 3D, you got the different circles, and the small circles.
See, I've never had an arrow in those circles, so I don't know what that is.
But I'm feeling it on the mannequin, and then I'm like, is that waterproof? And then I peel it over. I'm like, wow, that's tape. Yeah. That's waterproof.
We learned really quickly, a bunch of us guys sitting around the table at the office, drinking beer and like trying to figure out how to make women's clothes. That doesn't work very well. I would rather have something quieter that I can actually hunt in.
Yep. Specialized.
Yeah, it's specialized.
What's your favorite product you came out with this year?
Well, I've got friends in
low places. Oh, that nailed it right there.
Oh.
Whoa. All right, folks, welcome to the Gritty Bowmen podcast. We are in Indianapolis, Indiana at the ATA show. And we've got with us David Brinker, the guitar maestro. And, you work for Sitka.
I do.
Been there a while now.
10 years in June.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we had you on the podcast last year at the ATA show, so people can go and tune into that one where Aaron...
I was slightly more nervous last year. I've
Aaron,
been singing in the car a lot more, so I feel prepped.
This isn't fair. You've been preparing for this.
For 365 days.
I'm a car singing fool.
Aaron does like his music, and we'll come back from a long hunt.
He's preparing to go on The Voice.
He'll turn... Secretly, he's a pretty good singer, actually, I think.
We should get Zach Swan over here. He's here somewhere.
I thought Easton Corbin was going to be here to carry my ass.
He was here. He was here.
I know. We did a podcast with him. He told me he wouldn't let me down. I told him he has to sing.
We wanted Easton to sit down here with Snyder and sing a little bit, but there wasn't a lot of time, and he didn't bring his guitar. Yeah. Although I'm not sure.
That sounds like a really good excuse.
Yeah. Although he busted into song where last year when I forgot to hit the record button. And, it was not a good – we recorded that show for like 30 minutes. It was pure gold. And he's so funny with Brandon Bates.
Oh, yeah.
And it just – and I forgot to push record. But he didn't need a guitar.
No.
And nailed it. I was like – when he started singing, I was like, holy cow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So I didn't pressure him this time.
You have been singing. You sing in a local, kind of a pub thing at.
I do a little bit of
right?
that. Yeah.
Yeah. How
in Los Angeles?
Los Angeles.
Yeah. No kidding. Yeah. So how often do you do that?
It just depends on the time of year. If it's during hunting season, not very much.
But you take your guitar when you go hunting?
Yeah. I always have my guitar. I'm always playing and writing and stuff. But I play out mostly in the spring and the winter and spring. Off season.
Yeah.
But obviously, July, August hits, and my mind's in other places.
Yeah. You used the struggle stick this year, didn't you?
I did.
How'd that go?
Was it a struggle, I think is the question everybody wants to know, or was it
It's a little bit like golf.
Yeah?
Some days you wake up and you're on, and some days you wake up and you have no clue why you even started.
You're a fan of Joel Turner.
I'm a huge fan of Joel
And
Turner.
I got Joel coming on later today.
Cool. Yeah, I've been around traditional archery my whole life, and he's the best shot I've ever seen.
Yeah, me too. He's better than Aaron. Sorry, Aaron.
Yeah,
he's just a little bit though. Oops, just a little bit.
Yeah.
I have no issue. He can shoot. I mean, he can. Yeah, he can. I mean, he can definitely shoot. I mean, the thing he said something about. I think I'm supposed to get prepped with the compound bow. He's going to get his feelings hurt. He tries to go against me. He's got a compound bow in his hand, but he can shoot amazing with a stick bow. And the only way to beat Joel, and this isn't through me, this is Tom Clum's beat him a few times or a couple times. Since his point on is 20-something,
yeah,
you got to get his hand
over the target.
Over the target. So you got to get out there in that 48 to 60 range, which Tom Clum is very effective at. Now, for me, since Joel's the size of my left leg, I'm going to skip all that and just break his arm. And then we're going to shoot. I'm like, hey, Joel, what happened? Where's the iron mind? You got a rubber arm.
He came out to Sitka this about 6 months ago and did a seminar with our whole team. And there's like 12 of us standing behind him. We walk in the archer shop. He gives his opening spiel. And I said, Joel, before you start, there was a pig at 44 yards. I said, before you start, prove you got what practice what you preach. We got 12. We're going to 12
no
of us
pressure.
Stand right behind you. And he shot 5 arrows. And it was actually pretty incredible because one of the things he teaches is if the shot's not right, you let down.
Yeah.
It's shoot a perfect arrow every time. And when he drew back the first time, it wasn't right. And he let down, and anybody who's shot long enough knows it's really hard to let down when there's people standing behind you.
Yeah, oh yeah.
For whatever reason, there's
even by myself.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you just want to let it go. Let's just miff this arrow. Let's get it.
Let's
take the next
in the
one.
That's called target panic, Brian.
I don't do it. I never do it. But
and he put all 5 arrows within like a tennis ball in that pig at 44 yards, and my team's like, holy crap! I'm like,
yeah.
No one wanted to shoot in front of him.
No, yeah, I'm sure.
But then the next exercise is he made everybody shoot in front of him.
Yeah. Well, he's got.
Yeah, he did that to me too.
I poke fun at Joel all the time. I hopefully knows it's getting good fun. But he has this signature thing you do. Your sign.
Yeah,
It shows discipline, and it's like, I'm not signing that, man. I'm not. And
see, that was highly illustrative for me. Like it was it was a really good way for me to understand the concepts he was teaching.
Oh, I think it's a great idea. I mean, it's sound.
It's amazing how hard it is to sign your signature when someone's watching you.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to stay within the lines.
Yeah, it sounds so simple, and yet.
I just know me, and I know Joel, and I know I won't do it right, and I know after he's hounding me, I'm going to turn around and be like, wham! Now you sign it. No, Joel's a super cool guy, and what he teaches works. I mean, it's a sound and solid system.
I've watched Aaron shoot and Joel shoot, and Joel's uncanny. I'll say this, though, like, Aaron is right up. He'll give him a run for his money, for sure. You'll beat him on some days.
With the stick, it varies so much on the distance. If you get me around my point on, I probably beat him. You get me off of that, I don't have a chance in hell.
Well, I've gone with Aaron to 3D shoots a number of times now, and we'll do the full round, and everything gets a kill zone.
I shot a 198 and 20 targets,
and I don't know what that means.
I hit the 10 or the 12.
Is that like a 200-inch mule deer?
It would be like that. I know when you shoot, 3D, you got the different circles, and the small circles.
See, I've never had an arrow in those circles, so I don't know what that is.
It is good that there are so many people that have target panic.
Everybody.
It is important that you listen and follow what he says. When you go, if you only listen to half of what he says, you're not going to get much out of it. You definitely have to follow because he does know. I mean, he is very, very.
The worst mistake you can make. I saw this happen yesterday. We were talking to somebody over in our booth, and I described their trad bow shooter, and they have target. Everybody has target panic, and they go, "That's not what I have. I fear success." and I'm like, "Do you really? Like, do you really fear success?"
Oh, that's
I'm like,
funny.
"That's not your
It's
problem."
a little twisted.
Yeah, that's not your problem.
Yeah.
No, I think it's neat. I'm gonna have him on. But your season was a good one.
Yeah, it was a pretty decent season. I shot a couple mule deer with my bow, with my trad bow.
Yeah.
And I ended up killing my elk with a rifle this year.
Yeah.
Good pictures though.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I saw that. I was like,
to be honest, it was quite. What do you call it? Just after, I had a pretty rough bow. I had a great bow season in terms of encounters. I just didn't get a great shot.
I saw your videos where they're just like right there out of range. And
I had lots of great encounters. I was chasing one specific bull, and I have been for the last 4 years, and I was on him really good for 4 straight days, September 13th through 16th.
Yeah.
And somebody else killed him on the 16th. Oh. Yeah. But anyways,
that's not fun.
I came out of bow season with a tag and ended up killing a really nice bull that was bugling in October with a rifle, which was really cool, actually.
Yeah. Dude, we're going to do more rifle hunting this year.
Yeah.
I did. I shot a mule deer with a rifle. It was my first rifle hunt in maybe 10 years, and I had a blast. So we're going to slip in some trad, some compound, and rifle.
I think I'm going to do the grizzly hunt with the trad bow and maybe the moose, and then probably the goat and elk and mule deer. Well, definitely the goat and the mule deer with a compound. The elk's kind of. I got my butt kicked so bad during elk season. I hate to say like, oh yeah, I'm gonna hunt with a stick bow because you can call them in because we caught lots in, and I still struggled killing one. I mean, I eventually got one, but I was ready to snap that
followed
thing
along.
over my
that
knee.
was intense.
Yeah,
That was dude. That day he shot that.
But that was so
elk,
cool.
It was.
yeah, it was cool. I don't know if
I mean, I
want
could feel your guys' energy through Facebook.
I think it was one of the coolest hunting experiences of my life.
Well, and
and I wasn't shooting the bow.
If you know me and you've hunted with me, like I don't show emotion. I'm not good, not bad. I mean, he doesn't know what I'm thinking half the time. I mean, I just don't. And it's been like that for forever, Brian. I've always been that way. I don't get overly. I about cried. No, I about jerked a tear because having the ability I have with a compound and it being basically so easy. I mean, I've killed in the last 15 years. Probably 10 of them I've killed my elk on the first day. Not giants, but whatever. And this one I actually had to work, and so many big bulls in front of us. I wounded one. Dude,
Look how much you learned, though. Because
you know what I learned? Have a compound in your hand when you have big bulls around is what I learned.
Well, here's the thing is Aaron does kill, like, in general, on the first day or the second day. Hasn't really been
That's
too
an incredible
patient.
record, by the way. I never kill on the first day. I always take it all the way to the end. My wife hates it.
Well, what people don't understand is, and Brian understands now, is talking about shooting, holding out and shooting a bigger one. But last year was the first year in probably 12 to 14 years I actually hunted myself the entire year, and I didn't help. Well, I helped you with the rifle tag, but I didn't have a bow tag.
Right.
So for me, it's a matter of just sheer numbers, right? You get to shoot you shoot an elk on the first or second day, boom. Going on a sheep hunt with my buddy, boom. I go on a mule deer hunt for me, goat hunt for my other buddy. And so I never really got that much time to hunt. I mean, I never have like last year, so I got to hunt the whole season. So I was going to be more successful just at a sheer days with a bow in my hand, where I had the same amount of time in the field every year about. It's just most of those 80%, I don't have a bow, I'm helping someone.
Right.
So it's a little bit different, but that.
So you got to make it happen quick.
Well, I was. Now, I think the quest is Brian will have a mallet, and if I go to shoot anything small, he's going to hit me with it, and that will hopefully increase the size of the animal I shoot.
Well, no, that's one thing I was going to say is by shooting a recurve, I think you learn that it's okay to wait. You don't have to kill just because you can kill it and it's right there and it's legal, and you could wait actually and not kill that particular animal and wait till something older comes along.
If I'm not helping a buddy, that was a big thing. If I'm not trying to move on to the next
Which
hunt.
I would like to see Aaron, because there were a number of 365 bulls, 370 bulls in range. Even with the recurve, they were in range. Just it was tough to get shots because it was too thick in some spots.
Or a frontal. And I had a 30-yard, 28-yard frontal, and I didn't take it.
That's a tough shot.
Yeah.
So
that's a tough shot.
But with the compound, that's for Aaron. That's pretty simple and
shoot in the eyeball.
So it would be fun.
That'd be effective.
It would be fun to try to get him to hold out and chase an older age class animal, but. We'll see. Aaron might just jerk the trigger on that first hour.
I will say I've shot some older class animals. I mean, I've shot some.
Well, that's just because if you hunt long enough, there's bound to be one big that comes in front of you.
That's exactly it. Because, there's times where we've walked into largest bull I've ever shot at. I actually missed it fairly close distance. I had a 8-yard shot at a fairly respectable 6x6, probably 280, 290, decent. And I didn't shoot it because I saw the 370-plus bull. So I can hold out like then. But if he was just alone, that 6-point would have died. Like if he was by himself, but I saw the other one. I can hold out like that. But, again, if I don't have a lot of a tough schedule, meaning helping buddies, I mean, I can hold out more. But I just like getting out there. I like hunting. I mean, I don't get too wrapped up on
I have a real
inches.
hard time passing up bulls.
I can tell you what, with a stick bow, I will probably never pass up a bull.
The last couple of years, like I said, there's that bull I was hunting. He's probably he was 340 or so, but he was pretty close to my house, and I put a lot of energy into him. And it's just, if you're going to do that, you got to be totally fine, like having a tag at the end of the season. And I did that the last couple of years, and honestly, I'm just more the guy. Like if a nice bull walks by me, and it's a good shot. I'm just going to shoot it, and I'm totally stoked.
Yeah.
The difference between that and waiting on a bigger bull for me is not.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal.
Well, I think it's certainly a different story if you've got a weapon that reaches out to 80 yards versus a weapon that reaches out to 20. It's the same with a rifle. I hunted late season mule deer. They're talking John Pinch is 1,000 yards plus 1,500 yards effective range. I'm like, but even if you just consider a rifle like 300 yards, because I can shoot that far, I just don't want to shoot the first one I can shoot.
Well, you don't need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have
and
a
so
way
I
better
kind of
odds.
want to wait till, just and it's fun to wait. I think.
I had a little flip out moment on the mountain actually because we had a solid deer, and Brian's like, no. And then as it's walking away, 4 hours
always
later,
20/20.
I think I want to shoot that one. I'm like, get the camera. John's trying to get it. He's screwing around with the camera, and then it goes over the ridge line, and he's like, well,
wait a minute. Let's back up here. Okay, Brinker. This beautiful buck is over there, probably 170, but it's like the second morning, and we're looking at it, and I'm new to Colorado, so I'm like, well, he's just feeding with these does, and he's got this wide open hill, and I could shoot him.
I don't know why you're telling this story because it ends up the same.
And I'm like,
the deer goes over the hill, and he's like, we should walk over and shoot it now.
That's not the. That is not it.
We should watch it for a little bit first.
Yeah, 3 hours.
Yeah.
I said it wasn't 3 hours. I have the whole video. Okay, so
2 hours and 52 minutes.
Something like that. But no, I was like, let's just keep blasting the basin.
Yeah.
He's not going anywhere. And then I'll just shoot him later if there's not something else we see. I don't want to shoot anything just yet. But what happened was some joker climbed to the top of the mountain and fired 6 shots.
Now, I'll just join in here. We saw the joker significantly before the deer left.
We knew the joker was in the country.
For 45 minutes to an hour. And he's up here, the deer's here. And I will say, I'm an opportunist hunter. I'm like, it's a good deer. It's the only mature deer we've seen. Smoke it. And
may never see it again.
Brian's like, man. And to Brian's credit, he wanted a bigger deer. So when he decides to shoot it, which
That's true.
Now, I kept saying,
I'm like, let's shoot him.
I kept saying that deer's going to bounce, and I've been in this unit a lot. I'm like, we need to shoot that deer now. It's bedded at 340. Take it now because there's hunters, and And then what killed me was he's screwing with the camera, and we've got the we've got the cannon. Pinch is down there getting ready. I'm going back and forth. I'm like, are you ready? Are you ready? Get over the gun. Get on the gun. He's like, well, I'm screwing with the camera. The lighting's not right. The deer goes over the hill, which he didn't see. It goes over the hill, and I go back, and I'm like, get off the gun. He's gone. And Brian's like 20 minutes later, he's like, well, we could go down this canyon and go up and over, and we could probably get a shot. And I'm like, it was just dead in front of us. Now you want to go on an 8-mile nature walk?
I wasn't sure even then. I felt a little pressured to do something that I wasn't quite ready to do. And it turns out I didn't shoot nearly as big a buck as but I was glad I didn't because I hunted till the last day. Not at all. The whole hunt, I saw so many animals. It was such a fun experience.
Aaron regrets it.
Well, you know what? I don't mind him not shooting a deer. What it was is the filming opportunity was as good as you could have gotten.
Yeah.
It was bedded at 340.
It's true.
And we could literally film. I don't care what anybody says. Film adds 10 inches to an animal. You can get it on film for what we do.
Yeah.
It adds size.
A lot of value.
And I have been in that unit a bunch, and it was literally bedded broadside. See the D? 340 yards at the D, straight basically across from us. And I'm thinking, we're not going to get this chance.
Well, to
again.
Aaron's credit, he didn't pressure me.
No, I didn't.
He didn't say a word.
The only time when
He's
I flipped
"Do you
out
want
is when it went over the hill, and he's like, we should go now. I'm like, okay, so you like that? Why don't I just tie your shoelaces together and, put a pirate patch on one eye,
By then
too?
we had scoured the entire area, and I was like, okay, it is the biggest deer.
And we've got 15s, 85s.
But Aaron told me there'd be a lot of 180-inch deers every day, and it didn't happen this year.
It was the biggest letdown of that unit with the highest expectations. Latest fourth season tag in Colorado in years. And everybody got, game warden. We had a couple guys from Tim's group draw the tag, and Candy and Randy
Yeah.
They hunted it,
The
and
worst for them.
bad for everybody.
That's a bummer.
So it turns out, he was right at the below our bottom number, or size for that particular area, but turned out to be an absolute stud for this particular year.
Well,
but who knows? I don't care. I had a great time. I kind of I've never done the rifle hunt.
Yeah.
It snowed. I chased this one buck, tracked him through the snow for miles and miles, and the whole experience. It's sort of this thing where if you tag out on day 2 or morning of day 2, there's 4 days of experience I would never have had.
Right.
And those days of experience are extremely I cherish those now.
Yeah.
In my mind, I was after letting them know how many deer they would see, which we did see the numbers I had told them.
Oh, yeah.
Accurately predicted.
Ridiculous.
We just didn't see the big ones, and so even on day,
I was a kid in a candy store.
It was day 3, I think.
Yeah.
That was it 2 or 3.
I thought
Either way, I was nervous because usually every day you see 185 to 200 inch deer. We saw a lot of 140 inch 4 points, and I'm like, oh man!
Was it a weather thing or
pressure?
it
Probably.
was the latest. It was so hot this year,
Just
all the way up until the last 2 days of the season.
It was 65 degrees on the latest 4th season hunt on the first day. It was hot.
Yeah, it was hot. We were in t-shirts.
But I think what it was is that unit's kind of out of the bag. Eastman's has done us no favors, along with the Hunting Fool.
Yeah.
Which, you know what I would like to start is my own magazine where I just tell where
False
the
info?
Eastmans and the Hunting Fool hunt and get them out of my units because they don't ever really pimp out their units. They pimp out everyone else's. So I'm going to start this Screw Hunting Fool Eastman's magazine and then send them all to where those guys hunt. Hey, go hunt those units. But no, and I get along with those guys. It's just that unit is kind of tanked.
So one thing I've noticed, David, is you've got some new gear in the Sitka lineup.
we do?
It kind of leaked out around September time.
Yeah, about September 7th.
Everybody was like,
exact.
whoa,
Yeah.
what happened? How did you guys keep that a secret, by the way? Because that's not easy to keep under wraps, and it totally just popped up on my radar. Yeah.
I didn't think we did it. I mean, we to be honest, we weren't trying to necessarily keep it a secret. We just were trying to get it in the right people's hands to leak it at the right time. And
Yeah.
actually, I think it was August something when Randy Newberg went out to Utah. He had a mule deer tag down there.
Yeah.
He was the first picture that popped up.
Okay.
And then in elk season, as Corey Jacobson and some of our other guys were headed out, then it really started to multiply. But that was part of in this day and age, you can't. As a
no
clothing
doubt.
company that's has a very identifiable pattern, you can't hide it unless you go do these secret photo and film shoots. But it takes thousands of pictures to run our business, really good ones from authentic trips. And so when I have as one of the marketing guys, I'm managing 30 photo trips in September. There's no way I can keep it away from Instagram,
right?
Because then I'd be asking people to stop. Could you stop running your business for a little bit and being really cool on Instagram? Because I don't want to show this pattern. So I'm like, you know what, guys, go ahead and post it. What's the big deal? We're not going to talk about it until January, but you can post it. And then of course, people are. And I loved watching all the speculation and stuff. It was really cool how it all came down. The women's line. On the other hand, was the worst, best kept secret ever. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been the last 2 years have been really intense getting to where we are today. But the last 2 weeks have been super fun to see all the hard work pay off.
So who'd you get it in? I know Jacobson, and then did you get Metzinger?
Yeah, Metzinger.
Matt Singer. Who else?
Randy, Corey's whole crew, Dirk and Donnie and all those guys. Gosh, I don't know off the top of my head, but there was probably 20 guys that were hunting in it this fall.
Yeah. What's new about it? Tell folks what you've got.
Yeah, sure. I mean, so open country, our primary OptiFade pattern has been around since 2009.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always been scientifically optimized for engagements outside of 50 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Preferably in open country, hence the name.
Yep.
And so the idea, what we're as we've matured as a brand, we've always valued specialized systems. I mean, it's right below our logo. It says specialized clothing equipment. How do we continue to get more and more specialized for what? Because the sheep hunter that goes up to NWT needs different things than you on that Colorado elk hunt. You have different. The sheep hunter's priority is durability and staying dry and all these and weight and all these things, whereas an elk hunter wants to be quiet, et cetera, et cetera. So you can't. I mean, you can design clothes that fit both. You can, but you can make them even better if you start to really specialize them. Yeah. The best tools are made for very specific purposes.
Right.
So as we've grown as a brand, it's allowed us, especially on the big game side, it's allowed us to start really doing that. And this year is a big part of that. This system. So first was we always start with the actual garments because we're not just a camouflage company, right? So how do we solve problems within our product line that people may not even know they have? So anyways, this year we're coming out with 21 new products. Nice. On the big game side, they're specifically designed for the early season, really the archery hunter in mind, and even more specifically the archery elk and mule deer hunter in mind. And then, so we're talking the lightest weight pant we've ever created at 12 ounces roughly. We have a lightweight shirt for early season. It's 5 ounces. We have a rain gear that's actually quiet.
I went over and looked at all of it this morning before anybody got here. That Thunderhead jacket is... Sorry, Katie. When I cuss, she has to edit it. So when I grabbed it, I was like, feeling it on the mannequin, and then I'm like, is that waterproof? And then I peel it over. I'm like, wow, that's tape. Yeah. That's waterproof. Because, yes, I'm sure which you can hop in if you get pissed on and rain long enough, it'll eventually hold water. Any quiet rain gear does. But most guys that are going to be hunting elk don't care because they need it to be quiet. And that stuff is extremely quiet in the short amount of time I screwed around with it. Yeah. The Thunderhead is that one.
Yeah, it's a Thunderhead. I mean, and that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. For the elk and mule deer, just a general core Western guy, they don't necessarily need, like our Stormfront would be a good example. Stormfront is made for like the Alaskan guy or the Canadian guy that's out for long periods of time in harsh weather. They need extreme durability. I mean, their life depends on it. Yep. Whereas if I'm hunting in Montana from my truck or within, several miles of my truck, if it gets really, really bad, or my rain gear starts to gather some water on the outside, I can come back and I can dry that out. I have that luxury, so I would rather have something quieter that I can actually hunt in.
Yep, specialized.
It's specialized. So that was the whole goal with these. And then as you develop that product line, then you go, okay, what about concealment? Can we optimize concealment for those specific engagements? Yeah. And the reality is most people, we all aspire to hunt above timberline. A lot of people don't. I mean, so we wanted to figure out how do we optimize a pattern for, hunting in vegetated environments in close range like bow hunters do, So, and that's where Optifade Subalpine came from. So really what you have is we're still carrying forward with open country, obviously. Open country will be around for a long time. But you'll start to see more specialized systems within those two patterns.
Yeah. And see, those your new Ascent pants without having tried them on, just the weight, and I would wear those for almost everything until mid-October.
And that's why it's probably annoying how many times I've said optimize, because the reality is like there's always crossover, right? But
for me, there's a huge, when I looked at that, I'm like, I see turkey hunting, even though I get made fun of for turkey hunting. The color, for one, is perfect for spring turkey. 2, it's generally hot, right? 3, drawing back on a turkey, is difficult with noise. That rain gear is super quiet. The next thing I looked at was the lightweight pants. I don't know if you're going to make solids in those, just a straight hiking pant, whether you're hunting or not.
We did.
Yeah, so I mean, like those things I'm looking at where I would wear them all the time. So, I mean, and the top is the same way. It's super quiet, and lightweight.
What's your favorite product you came out with this year?
The Ascent pants.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wore the solids we have, they're green. Yeah. I got one of like a few pairs I think we have in samples, and I wore them from July working in the office all the way through my entire season basically, and you could go still hang them on the rack. I mean, they look that new. They're my favorite product we've ever made in my 10 years that I've worked at Sitka.
Nice.
Yeah,
pants are like my favorite. Like I want pants that feel good and get the job done, and so often that's always a tricky deal. Like pants, I think are probably the hardest to fit with people.
Yeah. And then obviously we have the women's line on the whitetail and big game side. We have full systems for women. Which with the
It's
idea,
a big launch.
It's a huge launch. There's a huge need for it. There has been for a while. We've known that. We finally had the opportunity to bring in women designers, bring in women pattern makers, bring in women athletes, and truly create it. We learned really quickly. A bunch of us guys sitting around the table at the office, drinking beer and like trying to figure out how to make women's clothes. That doesn't work very well.
Yeah.
So
you might need some women to help.
We needed some women to help, and the result's been pretty incredible. It's unbelievable how many more women are hunting now.
Yeah. Well, it's my daughter's going on her first hunt this year, so that was the first thing. I'm like, I guess I'm going to buy a really small men's clothing, because I'm not mentioning any other companies' names, but some of the other stuff I've screwed around with a little bit, catered for women. I've kind of looked at it and thought, man, I'm just going to have to buy her hiking pants and then kind of patch in some camo. Where looking at that stuff this morning, I mean, you didn't spare any expense on the women's line. I was pretty impressed.
No, we consistently heard from the women that we talked to that please don't treat us differently. Like, we're hunters too. What we want is something that fits us and is functional for us. And every once in a while there'll be a feature that we need, like a ponytail port or like a headband or things like that, or certain pocket placements on stuff. But really, at the end of the day, they just want something that fits them and is functional for them. They don't want. They didn't want from us. They didn't want paint, lace.
Yeah.
So that's. I mean, and we didn't even name the products any differently. The Timberline pant in the women's, we have a Timberline pant in the men's. So we tried to get confusing and come up with all these cool, clever names. But at the end of the day, it's just
same thing.
They're hunters. So let's bring something that's sick. It's 100%.
What has the response been from women so far?
It's been incredible.
Yeah,
beyond expectations.
So who are some of the women that are on your staff that people could potentially ask questions about as the year goes on, about the fitting, sizing, and things like that on the women's line? Because I know a bunch of different women that wear Sitka. I don't know if they're necessarily on your staff or not. So do you have women on your, quote unquote, pro staff or athletes?
Personalities.
Yeah, we have lots of women that are working with us. I'd say the best way though to start is we have women that work in our customer service that are doing this all day, every day.
Gotcha.
And they're real hunters, and they're very educated. Oh yeah, they're great. That's the best way to start.
Cool. No, that's good.
Well, dude, it's a tradition now. Brinker brought his guitar, and
Aaron's starting to sweat.
I know. So
deer in the headlights.
I'm trying to get the sexy flim going, like on Friends, but I don't have it. I am going to need to get a drink. Yeah. So what day did I text you?
What kind of drink?
Well, just water.
Okay.
I texted you the other day, and I'm like, "Are we singing?" And you said, "What song?" And for whatever reason, George Strait, the Fireman, came to mind. But you just started practicing this, right?
I played it one time this morning. Obviously, I knew the song.
Hey,
I'm just.
That's standing outside the fire. What?
That is standing outside the fire.
Look at Aaron.
I'm a varsity
Like
Garth Brooks guy. Dude, I sing more than anyone I know. And Amy, my girlfriend, she laughs constantly. And every now and then I think she's had enough. And she's like, I'd like to listen to the artist. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I'll shut up. But for the most part, she's very supportive of my horrible singing. So... 3:30 in the morning, heading to the gym, I've been singing The Fireman, which I can't imagine she likes, but she puts up with it.
How long have you known you're going to sing this song? When was it decided?
5 or 6 days ago, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
When did I first look at the song? This morning. But I've obviously heard it before. I just, you never.
Yep.
No, you're good. So what we have here, folks, is some lyrics. Because
hold on, I don't know.
If I remember correctly, last year we stumbled upon some lyrics.
Yeah, there's some humming.
Oh man,
is
that's
that
risky.
worse or
That's
is that better?
That's risky.
I mean, if you start stomping your feet and get up there and dance, you're going to knock that over.
You want to back down?
No,
Here.
it's all right. It's all right. You can put it up there. I was just kidding.
Aaron.
I think I actually know the lyrics, but here, do this. Look at that.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Wham sauce.
Wow.
Bam.
This is
Can
pro.
you see that?
Oh yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
All right.
All right, Aaron, you ready?
All right. We're about to
Do you want to
grace
do
you.
me?
No, I'm going to suck either way.
Tell me your No. He does that a lot.
No. I do that no matter what.
I saw before we got on here. I saw people running out of the bathroom because Aaron was in there warming up his voice.
Well, I looked over and I was like, I looked at the guy next to me and I was trying to get him away from me. I'm like, hey, that's a nice watch, hoping he would give me some space, but he hung around.
All right, you ready, buddy?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. This jumps right into the chorus, you know.
Yep.
All right. We're going to get the little scroll going here. All right. You ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3. They call me the fireman.
That's my name. Making my rounds all over town, putting out old flames. Well, everybody like to have the one I got. I can cool them down when they're smoldering hot. I'm the fireman. That's my name. Last night they had a bad one a mile or two down the road. A buddy walked out and left a woman burning out of control.
I was down there about
An hour or so, little mouth to mouth, she was ready to go. They call me the fireman.
That's my name.
That's my name.
They call me the fireman.
That's my name. Making my rounds all over town, putting out old flames. Well, everybody'd like to have the one I got. They can cool them down when they're smoldering hot. I'm the fireman. That's my name.
Burn them up. You got the solo here, man.
Where we at? I panicked.
Hold on. It's okay.
All right, good.
Do you want to do the last verse or not?
Yeah, might as
Where's
well.
it start?
The solo, the guitar solo is almost over.
Okay, good. All right, here we go.
All right.
I got a. Yeah, you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
I got a fire engine red T-Bird automobile. In a minute or less, I can be dressed fit to kill. I work 24 on and 24 off. When they get too hot, they just give me a call. I'm the fireman.
That's my name.
We nailed
But
that.
call me the fireman. That's my name.
I'm making my rounds all over town, putting out old flames. Well, everybody like to have the one I got. I can cool them down when they're smoldering hot. I'm the fireman. That's my name.
One more time. They
Call me the fireman. That's my name. Making my rounds all over town, putting out old flames. Well, everybody like to have the one I got. They're cool them down when they're smoldering hot. I'm the fireman. That's my name.
Hey.
We didn't hack that up too bad.
Hey, dude, this is without any practice, right? Like, it's not like you guys have done this duo before.
No. You know what I think would be, I mean, we should do, because he talks a lot of You need to sing
Dude,
as well.
You got to
What do you
pick
think?
something.
What does he sing?
I have no idea. I've never heard
we
him sing
did last
before.
year? Yeah, I don't sing.
Come on now.
If you did something like, low places,
Okay.
I mean, I got that.
Okay.
I can do that.
You got it.
I can do Garth.
Okay. Did we do that last year? Did we do that
We
last
did do it last year. If you could think of,
What else we got?
I got more Garth in me, in general. I think I'm a one-trick pony.
Little River.
There's
Little,
Beaches of Cheyenne, Much Too Young.
Yeah, much too young.
We did that last year, didn't we?
We
Did we do
did.
it again? You didn't sing it last year.
I didn't
He
sing
didn't
it,
sing anything last year. All he did was make fun of me all year.
dude. Yeah. Yeah, no, that would work.
Okay.
One.
We can do that.
Man,
You.
Low places is easy.
Okay, so
that one's-
let's do the layup. Let's do the layup.
Yeah, I'm all about simple.
Okay, let's keep this fairly simple. Now, are you going to sing the verses and the chorus?
If I have the words,
Oh,
maybe.
hold on. Why don't you?
Aaron, you
Here,
guys
swap
scoot over a
spots.
little bit.
Okay.
Oh, whoa. Aaron's got to do this too.
hold on. I got to air out.
You
I'm
don't
a little
realize.
hot.
I don't think I've sung in like a couple years,
You're going to blow people's minds.
even in the shower.
You don't
All right.
sing in the shower?
It's a crime. Where's it at?
It's right here.
Okay,
All right, we ready for this?
you're just gonna have to carry
I'll
me
get
a
it going.
little
I'll
bit.
get it going, and we can go. Okay.
me. Is that where it goes? Like, is there something like a key or like, hello? I don't really get up there.
Well, see, and I just
This is going to be a hack job.
I just talk faster is all I do. It's not really singing.
This is supposed to be a hack job.
But when you stopped singing during that, the starfish tightened up a bit. I was like, oh, come on, Dave, keep singing. Dang it, man.
This is going to be a little flat. I'm just saying it now. Thanks for that image, Aaron.
Yeah, that was really really affected my morning.
Well, there's some things you can't wash off. But
Blame it all on my roots.
I showed up in boots and ruined your black tie affair. The last one to know, the last one to show, I was the last one you thought you'd see there. And I saw the surprise and the fear in his eyes when I took his glass of champagne. And I toasted you, said, honey, we may be through, but you'll never hear me complain. 'Cause I got friends in low places where the whiskey drowns and the beer chases my blues away. And I'll be okay. I'm not big on social graces. Think I'll slip on down to the oasis. So I got friends in low places.
Whoa.
man, it's so much easier with Brian on here, dude. This is great.
You want to go for
I kind
another?
of spit across the table.
You got another verse in you?
Yeah.
Well, I
What?
guess I was wrong. I
Just don't belong. But then I've been there before. Everything's all
right.
Right. I'll just say
goodnight and I'll show myself to the door. Hey, I didn't mean to cause a big scene. Just give me an hour and then I'll be as high as that ivory tower that you're living in. I got friends in low places where the whiskey drowns and the beer chases my blues away. And I'll be okay. I'm not big on social graces. Think I'll slip on down to the oasis. So I've got friends in low places.
Well, I've got friends in
Low places.
Oh, that nailed it right there.
Whoa. Whoa.
If you're going to do it, you just got to go all in, dude.
You went all harmony on that?
You dropped a few notes. Dude, you got a deep voice.
Was that a third or a fifth?
Oh, man.
That's awesome.
Thanks, Brinker.
Yeah, buddy.
Dude, it's always fun,
Lord.
man.
Yeah, I'm sweating now.
I am too. I'm super nervous.
I'm all emotional.
Nobody's watching, but I'm like nervous.
Oh, that's funny.
You guys are so good.
Not at
That was
singing. Oh, man.
Well, I want to thank you, dude.
Yeah, buddy.
It's always a pleasure.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
You guys got to come back out to Montana and shoot some bows.
for sure. I'll be at the Total Archery Challenge, no question.
Oh, yeah.
And then
It's going to be big this year.
we'll be out there.
All right.
yeah, I got that one on my.
Yeah, he
my-
didn't come last year, did he?
Aaron's going to come
I don't,
to some of these archery shoots.
He's helping me. Dude, I'm an
Extrovert.
introvert.
Be more social.
Yeah.
I just.
Dude,
it
you're
is-
at the ATA show right now.
Well, that's what I mean. He's helping me. I mean, one with Kafaru, I have to get out there more. But two, right when all those are going on, it is hard for me not to be
In the
8
woods.
to 10 miles in on a back because my schedule is unlimited. So it's that easy for me. I just pick a lake, pick a mountain, pick a whatever, and I'll leave Monday, Tuesday, and backpack in and test gear, whatever.
And-
It's hard for me to get away from that.
And I need that. I need Aaron to like keep me from just always working, and grinding and stuff. I need him to be
I
like,
could definitely help people not work.
It's funny because our schedules are flexible, and I live 20 minutes from his house. So, I'll have all these shows. I can see what's happening. I'll come home, and I'll have hours and hours of editing to do to get these shows out, and I'll start working on it. And the first thing, the day we get back, Aaron will call me at 9 a.m. Are you awake yet? That'll be first. He'll text me, you awake yet? And then it'll be, you want to shoot today? And then it'll be, You want to go up to Red Rocks?
We're doing cardio.
You were doing cardio,
yeah, whatever.
and the next thing you know, like my day is like spent shooting bows and hanging out with Aaron instead of getting work done.
That sounds like heaven.
Then I come home and then I do work, and then he texts me again in the morning. You up yet? And it's like, well, I edited till 2 a.m. because I played till 5 p.m.
My schedule's very unique. I go to bed at 9. I get up at 3, roughly, give or take.
And it's no lie, people. This
Seriously?
is not a lie.
I go to the gym at 3:30 or 4, depends. I work out for an hour. I go
it's
straight.
not right. Don't try it at home.
I'd be a wreck.
Me too.
I go to Kafaru and I do, probably what you answer. I have like little blocks of time, emails for 30, whatever. And then usually by noon, I'm gone. And it's funny. People are like, do you ever work? And I'm like, yeah, I started at 5. When
He
did you
doesn't
start?
sleep.
I don't
and
sleep
I
much.
think that's probably going to catch up to him someday. But right now,
I can function on very little sleep.
he'll get up at 3:30 or 4 in the morning.
I require at least 10.
Every day.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like you.
I have never slept 10 hours straight in my life. Maybe when I was in recovery when I got hurt. But when I got, at noon-ish, somewhere between 11 and 1:30, I leave Kafaru. I stop at the Clums or Alpha or at No Limits. I shoot, or I go to the outdoor range. And then at 3:30 to 5, I do some type of backpack cardio. And I come home and generally by 8 o'clock, I'm falling asleep. And people call me at 10, which is the normal time at night. And I'm like, dude, I was asleep 2 hours ago the next morning. I'm like, I'm sorry I didn't answer your text, but I was dead asleep. So I try to go to bed around 9. Right.
Usually Aaron's like going like this by 9 o'clock.
I fell asleep on the podcast last night.
Yeah, we did a little late night one.
I fell asleep.
He fell asleep. We knew we were gonna push his limits. So
the thing though that's good is if you hunt with me is if it's a heated shelter, you're always warm because I keep the fire going. And then, 2, where most people are at their peak, I'm not, but where most people are at their low, I'm at my peak. So that does kind of help because
you get a lot done. You can get a lot done between 4 in the morning and 8.
That's why I do it.
Was it Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah.
He just said you got to sleep faster, and you get more done.
Well, and it's weird because
I was that buff. I could say that too.
Yeah,
I'm clearly not.
If I found I can take a 30-minute power nap and obviously the military helped a lot. I don't know if it's help is the right word, but the military has tweaked me to where I can do a lot physically on very very little sleep, food, and the things that most people need. But again, I'll probably die when I'm 50. Who knows? I mean, it's got to be taking a toll on my body.
Who knows?
That's scary.
Right now, though, he's cranking along, kicks my butt, climbing those stupid hills.
I almost got Cameron to have a sprinting competition.
I don't know how that would end, to be honest.
I tried to arm wrestle him last night. He didn't like that a lot.
That's funny. No. Well,
he ran away. I just showed him a little.
I just did a little bit of this.
The thing is with Cam, it seems like he's extremely competitive. Obviously, had to work very hard, but most guys, if you try to challenge me at something I'm not good at, I'm just going to accept. Yeah, I'm probably going to lose. With Cam, I don't think he wants to have that appearance or have that. I think I'm fast. I'll smoke him in a sprint. So I'm hoping he does that.
It's tough to sell for a guy that's running 540 mile.
Yeah,
that's pretty fast. So, but there's a difference between being explosive with a sprint and just running. It'd be very interesting. Aaron is. I've seen Aaron explode. It's fast.
I'm like a dwarf. I'm very fast over short distances. After that,
what about you, Brinker?
I run a quick mile, like 9:40.
I'm with you, brother. I'm with you.
Brian and I are very competitive. I would say Brian is a bit more competitive than me, but we were talking about doing the 5K run, and
Aaron pretends he's not competitive.
Oh, I'm competitive. If there was a red line meter in competitive nature, I think he red lines more than I do.
Right.
But I was like, you know what? I'll run that, and I'm thinking, God, I don't have to run this. And Brian's like, are you really going to run that? I'm like, no, not if you don't want me to. I don't want to run.
Yeah.
Because we ran so much in the Army.
Well, he's like, let's race. I don't know. They were talking about doing that 5K, and me and Aaron race each other on the 5K, and I'm like, I don't want to race Aaron.
I'm very
if Aaron,
driven.
I got to chase my kids around. That's enough. I'm worn out.
See, if we're gonna do it, Aaron's Aaron doesn't want to lose.
No, that's when I say my competitive nature. I'm easy.
And my
just
problem
saying,
is I don't
do
want
it.
to lose. And so what's going to happen is we're going to run until we vomit, and then that's no fun.
No. Dude, we were talking
Right?
about
One of us is going to lose,
Right.
but we're both going to feel like crap afterward.
and I don't like running. Oh, but I did one 5K, and I about got in trouble talking crap. I'm like, it's a 5K. And then so I ended up, there was several women in the group that I was running in, and I didn't anticipating on having to try. And next thing you know, it's the man sent the girls beside.
Yeah.
She's probably going to beat me if I don't get my crap together. So I ended up running. Basically, I did like a 22, 34, 38. And I puked for a solid 55, 60 minutes.
miserable.
Oh, it was
Do
horrible.
you jog and run?
Yeah, I do.
Do you?
When the weather gets nicer in Montana, we've been cooped up so long. I start trail running. I trail run all summer, but not.
How many miles do you go?
Yeah, that's the
It's
thing.
just a comfort thing.
No,
Just
like
that-
I'll go out before work and I'll run for like, I don't know, 45 minutes or an hour up to.
Hey.
run around the M that's above town.
I
and all
shoot
these
for
things.
25 minutes, and then I kind of wrap it up.
Yeah, but I don't go fast. That's my thing. Is like, I took somebody up there one day, and they could almost walk as fast as I was jogging up the trail. But it's more just getting my heart rate up in the morning, then hopefully shoot a few arrows before I go in. I have to, in order to push myself really hard, I have to have somebody pushing me.
Yeah.
And if I'm just running by myself, I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to listen to music. I'm going to sweat a little bit.
Sing a little Garth.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Listen to a little Aaron Snyder.
That's right.
That one, that'll make you go backwards, possibly. You trip and fall, yeah.
Well, David Brinker, again, thank you. Appreciate it,
buddy.
brother.
Yeah.
Stay gritty.
Yep, thanks, man.
Buddy.
In 1907, only 41,000 elk remained in North America, and in 1950, only 12,000 pronghorn remained. Today, there are more than 1 million elk and 1.1 million pronghorn. Why? Because hunting is conservation. In 1937, hunters actually requested an 11% tax on guns, ammo, bows, and arrows to help fund conservation. That tax so far raised more than $8 billion for wildlife conservation. Altogether, hunters pay more than $1.6 billion a year for conservation programs. No one gives more. It's obvious that hunters care about animals, and yet we actively hunt and kill them. Many people cannot understand this dichotomy. How can we both care about animals and also kill them? It's a question that I challenge all of you to consider. Here is an excerpt from the Gritty Bowmen film, Alberta, with a quote from Fred Bear that describes my feelings on this subject. The first shot on this buck was fatal, and it cleanly pierced his vitals, but he didn't go down. I hate to see animals suffer, and when possible, I will always shoot them again if I have the opportunity. I have tremendous respect for this buck and his will to survive. He didn't go down easy, and I have mixed emotions about that. At times like this, I am reminded of a quote by Fred Bear, which somewhat describes my thoughts on this matter. Quote, I have always tempered my killing with respect for the game pursued. I see the animal not only as a target, but as a living creature with more freedom than I will ever have. I take that life if I can, with regret as well as joy, and with the sure knowledge that nature's way of fang and claw and starvation are a far crueler fate than I bestow. I do not hunt for the joy of killing, but for the joy of living, and the inexpressible pleasure of mingling my life, however briefly, with that of a wild creature that I respect, admire, and value. We can argue as much as we like, but the fact is, hunting is man's oldest and most successful try at life. Every human being is alive today because our ancestors hunted. So it's a relatively new phenomenon for people to regard hunting as a cruel and frivolous activity that has no worth outside of personal gratification for the hunter. The funny thing is, hunting has increased my appreciation for wild animals and wild places, not decreased it. And as I watch society lose its ties to wildlife and conservation, I feel my bond with nature grow ever stronger in direct correlation to my time spent hunting. I understand now more than ever that hunting is the greatest hope for creating the next generation of true conservationists. Never stop sharing your passion for hunting in the outdoors. Our wild animals and wild places depend on it. We thank Kifaru, Mountain Ops, Hoyt, Vortex, Phelps Game Calls, Black Eagle Arrows, and Crispy Boots for supporting the Gritty Bowmen. We love these companies, and the people behind them. They truly make fantastic products. Please support them however you can. As always, good luck on your hunts and stay gritty.
This is Ty Stubblefield, and you're listening to the Gritty Bowmen.
Grit.